Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another week of That Scale RC show. I'm your host Adam Dean, alongside with,
Jeremy Kendall.
and we actually have a special guest in the building today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Elio Dianda, aka Easy E, part of Two Chains in Zonk's Garage, scale builder. I don't know what you call it. Fun guy. I don't know. Whatever.
Scale builder party boy.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, since we finally have our first guest, I'm going to actually open this up with asking you some of the questions, and these are the questions that we actually asked each other on our first episode. So, just give us your first answer, and then after that, we're just going to start, chit-chatting it up and see where this takes us. So, all right. So, favorite scale crawler.
Ooh, what do you mean? As far as my personal?
Personal, brand, whatever you want. Just let us know. What is your personal favorite scale crawler?
Well, you know what my personal favorite brand is. Everybody should know that. Axial. Crawler, I have a lot. I like doing the old iron or the Jeeps. I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of favorites.
Okay. Well, I mean, you kind of narrowed it down. You went with a brand and a model, which is pretty much what we answered with.
Okay.
So, where is your favorite place to go crawling?
Oh, man. I'd say the Sierras.
Okay.
Rubicon area, Fort Ice area, just up in the mountains.
Pretty much what I said. Tahoe National Forest.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite scale event?
Oh, well, it was Axial Fest, really. But I don't know. I'm going to Proline, so I got a new event to check out.
Yeah.
But Axial Fest for sure. I mean, at least last year was epic. The attendance was epic. All those people. I mean, I enjoyed that one. Putting the faces to the names. People that you follow and meet online and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my son got up on stage and bebops in front of whatever, how many people. That was pretty epic for me.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was
fun last year.
Yeah, we did, dude. We had tons of stuff going on.
What is your current number of rigs owned?
12.
That's
Man,
it?
You knew that right off the top of your head too. Like you knew exactly.
Yeah, I was just counting them last night.
That's it?
Well, that's it. Well, I'm getting rid of one, and then I'm probably gonna get 3. So I'm gonna do 3 new builds.
Man, I feel bad now. I have more than Elio.
I know.
All right. Style of event, comp or trail?
Trail.
Okay. What would be your favorite scale tire?
Ooh. Can it be multiple tires?
Sure.
Or just one tire?
Give us your multiple tires. We'll take whatever.
Super Swamper XLs.
Okay.
Yep.
The boggers and Pipple. The Pipple tires are pretty my favorite right now.
Nice. All right. What would be your favorite motor size? This could be brushed or brushless.
My all-around favorite brushed would probably be like any 35 turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brushless, I don't know. The only brushless car I have is the Hobby Wing right now.
Nice.
And that thing, yeah, that's it. I've been a brush guy forever. I mean, that was my first brushless rig. So.
Well, not true.
Well, the Bomber.
No.
Which one?
What about the big 2.2 JK that went up in flames at the first crawl for a cure?
Oh yeah,
I never heard about
remember that? Dude, it went on fire, and I said, "This is the last time I'm putting a brushless motor in anything." Because, dude, it was a 412 Rock 412, an RS system, an Airtronics, receiver I lost all in one fire episode.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was great too because his car looked like a UFO. He had so many lights on this thing, and then all of a sudden we're out for the night crawl. I mean, he crawled it all day. We go out for the night crawl, and all of a sudden we're like halfway through, and we're like, it stinks. And then Elio's like, woof! I smell someone's electronics. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh, it's me!
Oh,
It's on fire!
That's the worst.
Oh, that was Crawl for the Cure. What year was that, Adam?
The very first year, which I think was 2014.
Yeah, that was the VP JK.
Yep, the VP JK.
Yeah, that thing was all. Yeah, that was the last time I said I'm never running an expensive system again just because of this happened.
Yeah, and then it was pretty funny. Then he went and throws it in his brand new. That was when you got that was right after you got the F-150, the Platinum.
Yeah.
And then he stunk up his back seat.
Oh, I know. I threw it in. I'm like, oh my god.
All right. Now that we can get back on track, what is your current radio? Like, what receiver do you use? System?
Dude, you're gonna laugh. It's the stock axial radios.
No, I know. You just had to answer it because I know, but
you know.
Audience,
I got one, and then I got one Airtronics system I run.
The stock axial ones do work pretty good, but like I struggle with programming is the only thing. That's the only thing I don't like about those radios is trying to program it for a winch. I don't know what it is, but I'll sit there and screw with it forever, and then finally I'll get it, and I won't even know how. It'll just happen.
Yeah. I haven't figured that part out yet because I've always used the wireless controller winches because I guess there is a way to program it, but I haven't figured it out.
It's not easy at all. Like, I mean, I couldn't even like sit here and try and explain it to somebody looking at the manual because the manual's like, I think it's wrong on one part of it as to like what button you push, but it's this crazy like combination of like turning the wheel counterclockwise and pressing one of the buttons that's on the grip and then turning it on at the same time, and it's gnarly.
Jump on one foot, hop up and down 3 times.
Yeah, it's really hard. So I'm hoping that all the RTRs from now on come with Spectrum in them because that's a lot easier to try and handle.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say because neither one of you guys. Well, actually, I don't know, Jay. You might, but I know Elio doesn't have one of the newer rigs that comes with the Spectrum remote.
No.
So he's talking about the stock axial tactic radio.
Tactic radios I run.
Yeah, those are the ones I have trouble with.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm just cheap, and plus, people see my rig and they see stock stuff, so kind of promotes the hobby. I don't go out and flash the high end stuff, because you're trying to bring people into the hobby, not like, oh my god, I got to spend that much.
Exactly. You don't want to scare them to death. No, I think that's good. I mean, I still try and have several rigs on different radios so that I can loan them to people. But really, I mean, like the radio I use most of the time is just a Fly Sky that's been hacked, and I love that thing. And then I got a 1.9 Wraith coming on Friday, and I'm kind of hoping that it comes with the Spectrum radio just so I can see what it's all about. So
I believe it does. That's definitely a car I want to get my hands on. I just haven't done it yet.
They're so cool looking. Like, I ordered 2 cars this week. I got the Unimog and then the 1.9 Wraith, and the Wraith gets here Friday, and I can't really decide which I'm more excited about. Probably the Wraith, I think. They just look so good. That new body's so sick on those.
Yeah, I like the way they did the hood and everything, too. They did it really nice.
Yeah, I think it's badass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, which leads us to the next question. What would be the next scaler you would buy?
Well, I got a Mog I got to go pick up.
Nice.
But I think I'm going to get both. I'm going to get a 1.9 Wraith, and I'm going to get the Mog.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about those 2 cars, but it's like right now those are like, I mean, I can run whatever I want and don't have to, stick to one brand. But man, that's like those are the 2 that jumped out at me is exactly what you just said. The same exact cars.
My only bad thing is too bad it comes with the one-piece axles because if it came with the older axles, you can do the bolt-on portals.
Yeah. Yep.
That would fit the Mog perfect.
I have a bunch of those housings and stuff here, and then like I know Deadlock has a set of bolt-on portals that look really good.
They look really nice.
Yeah, and like the anodizing looks a little more on par with like VP or something rather than one of the other Asian companies. But yeah, those look good. The SSD ones are probably pretty decent too.
Yeah.
So are you gonna go portals on yours, or what are you gonna do?
I'm thinking, because I don't know. It just doesn't look right without portals.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that direction too. I think it's the only rig I think I have that I would even put them on. But
yeah, I don't know. And if you can set it up right, that'd be a nice comp rig with portals.
Well, I have a LCG Truggy chassis, and so I'm gonna actually end up. I'm gonna run it stock for a little bit, and then put it on that LCG chassis, and do the bed. That's why I'm choosing the Truggy chassis instead, so that I can do the bed area up, and I'll either do a box and do it like rally style, or do something similar to how it is stock. I'm not really sure, but that combo should be deadly, I'm thinking.
Well, and to clarify, he's talking about the Northwest Scalar Design LCG chassis.
Yes.
What's that? I don't think I've seen that one.
It's the guy that's making the tubing benders and stuff, and the big rig building jig.
Oh, the jig
table.
Makes that jig.
Yeah, it's that dude. He has some awesome stuff coming out.
I don't know. I think I'd probably leave it the stock axial because I don't know. I think it'd piss more people off if you pull it with the stock axial chassis. These guys all go to flat rails and stuff, but if you can pull some lines with a axial, like me and Adam built some cheater rigs. I started off with one, and that thing was like a billy goat, so we built him one. But I don't know. It's kind of cool to do it with the stock axial. I don't know, just to give you a base, because brings that more scale effect out.
Right. I've always thought the same thing too. This will be my first time ever using an aftermarket chassis, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what it's all about. But I'm with you. I thought it was kind of fun to just run the stock C channel chassis and see what it's actually capable of without building a full on cheater rig, and they work great.
Oh yeah, they work good.
Well, the final question, and we can get into whatever topic you guys want to talk about, is favorite hobby shop.
Oh, well, we know what one it was, closed down, but I've been going to Fast Track, my local hobby shop. They treat me good, and they got a lot of stuff in stock. So right now it's Fast Track Hobbies.
Nice.
Sweet. So, and for those of you who don't know, Elio is up in Roseville, California.
Yes.
Fast Track is in Rockland, or is it in Roseville?
Yes. Rockland by the Tesla dealer.
Okay. Because, they moved. They used to be really close to Elio. Now they're a little bit farther, but not too far.
Yeah.
So, and that pretty much sums up our questionnaire. So if there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, I'm good.
So,
what do you guys want to talk about, man?
Anything.
You kind of covered a little bit of it. What are some plans you got going on? Like, what are some events coming up that you're going to?
I'm going to Proline by the Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And then me and you talked about where we're going to Axial Fest, and then me and you talked about doing an event up at Rubicon. So I'm kind of stoked about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a camp and crawl.
Yep.
So, but that's only, and then we got Crawl for the Cure, right?
Yep. First weekend of October.
Yes, and then me and you branched and talked about going to the Crawl Masters this year.
Which will actually be technically next year, because I think it happens in like January or February.
Yes, the next one.
So I think we're going to try our hand at the Crawl Master.
Oh boy. Woohoo!
Are all of these kind of like northern central California, like where you guys are talking about?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. So really it's probably 13, 14 hours for me then. About what it was to get to Axial Fest if I were to, say, go down to do Crawl for a Cure.
Yeah.
Probably, because, it's about, the only difference with Crawl for a Cure is it's located a little bit farther in California, going towards Nevada, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
I think. I'm trying to think. It's closer to the 50 side, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's Pioneer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Pioneer. So Cisco Grove is on the 80 side, and it's over by Pioneer on the 50 side. So, and 50 is the main, for those who aren't from California, that's the main highway going up to South Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Nice. Well, maybe I'll try and go to Crawl for a Cure then. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Crawl for a Cure is fun. And they do have hotels in Pioneer. There's also camping and cabins there. So if you actually register ahead of time, you could probably get a little cabin there if you wanted.
Sick. That would be cool. I'm
Ooh,
probably all
party
for
at Jay's cabin.
Yeah. I'd probably go the tent camping route just because like I'm one of the few people that actually enjoys like tent camping and not being in an RV. So.
Oh yeah, I just ordered a tent cot just for Proline because I'm camping.
Oh, nice.
Well, the other thing I'm gonna throw into this too is remember, by the time Crawl for a Cure rolls around, we have it's kind of like that end of the fall kind of time. So
yeah,
it is comfortable during the day, like it's gonna be about like 70s ish, and then by the time nighttime hits, it's like 30 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's nothing. last year, no, it was 2 years ago now in September, we camped out over near Leavenworth, Washington, and it got down into the 30s at night, and we were like right by the water and stuff, by this river and everything, and had just a little 2-person tent, but I have one of those little Mr. Heater, like Buddy, like catalytic converter or catalytic heaters. And oh man, that was just perfect inside there. So from now on, I'm good with any temperature. It's not going to be a big deal. So I'm not going to let that stop me.
Nice.
Well, some of the best camping we ever did was at Rubicon.
Oh yeah.
Which actually blows you away because it's almost like camping in the desert because you're out. Because we used to go for Cantina, which is always Labor Day weekend. So what is that? The first September of.
Yes.
Or first weekend. First weekend.
September. Yes.
And so you're out there, guys have their shirts off. It's like 95 degrees. It's freaking hot. You're eating tacos. You're hanging out. All of a sudden, the sun starts going down, and by like 9 o'clock, it's like 40 degrees out, and you're just oh my gosh. And then we usually. The last year we actually went. I remember hopping in my one sleeping bag and then hopping into my other sleeping bag because that one was moisture rated. Because the one year I woke up, my whole sleeping bag, the top was just soaking wet from all the moisture.
Well, one year we went. We just slept on cots.
Yep, that was the year I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah. So those some good times. It's been a while.
Oh yeah. It's always a good time at Rubicon.
Oh, yeah. So, the one thing I do got to say I like about Rubicon, because it is nice, is there's no cell reception. So, it's kind of like it's like a double-edged sword. It's bad because, okay, if anything ever serious, God forbid, happens, it's hard to get, help unless you have a ham radio or some sort of way of notifying. But the cool thing about it is you get to disconnect from everything, and you're just out in nature. So
I think I think Jay would like Sunday.
Oh,
oh boy! Oh, yes, the $5 challenge. So what you do is everybody puts in $5. Do we set up these gates on the water? I mean, they're pretty much you fall off the gate, you're going in the water, and winner takes all the money.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, man, we've had rigs go down river. People are running for them.
Oh, yeah. That would be so terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Well, actually, I know it's a little out of, whatever order, but we got a good question on our That Scale RC show page on Facebook, and I think it's a good one. We can even have Elio chime in on this. It's a 2-part question, and it's from Marcus Snow. And he said, I would like to hear you guys talk about the entrepreneurial side of things in the industry. Like, what makes you guys get into the business? What are things or that you guys think could be done and need to be done that would be beneficial to the hobby and business surrounding the hobby?
Oof.
So
I don't
let's
know.
see. Let's start with Elio. Let's see what his answer is.
What was the first question?
So the first part was what got you into the industry? What got you into scale RC?
It was the people, meeting people. I don't know, just the different builds, the camaraderie. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what I got into. I mean, that's what brought me into it.
Now I know this is kind of cheating because I know Elio like really well. So the reason why I wanted him to answer first is he started out as a comp crawler.
Yes.
He was a big comp crawler. Then
Well, yeah, I was back in the West Coast Nationals, AWCC. I mean, I got into comping pretty big. I was been comping. I comped. My first comp was with a Berg when the Bergs came out. Me and my son had Bergs, and we comped all the way up through. Oh, I don't know. I went to the Worlds. I was at the Worlds. And then my son was comping with me at age 6, and then what got us out of that was just it just turned weird. I mean, people, we were at the AWCC and they had a kids class, so kids were XR10s with no dig. My son was running it. He was so what went down was these guys took all their digs out and they came in with all the kids, and my son's like, he's like, Dad, why'd they do that? I go, I don't know. And then after that day, he never wanted to comp again. He goes, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore.
That sucks.
So that's what ended it for him. And he was good. He was the youngest kid comping there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a shame, man.
But that's what kind of turned me off was all the big heads, and I don't know, I kind of got out of it and then got back into scaling, and just a lot better people, a lot better attitudes. Everybody's on the same page, you know what I mean?
Right.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, but it's just fun. I mean, it's bringing the fun back. You're not out, trying to prove your point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And then the second part of that question was, what things do you think can be done or need to be done that would be beneficial to the hobby and the business surrounding the hobby?
Oof. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Just, I don't know. Support your local hobby shops and promote the hobby. That's about it. I mean, that's what's making the hobby grow is promoting it and bringing families in, and that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can think of.
So now I guess I'll turn this question over to Jay. So I know we've kind of discussed this in like our first episode, but what got you into this industry?
Racer friends got me into it. They were telling me how much fun it is and that I needed to give it a chance, and I kind of turned my nose up at it first. I was like, man, I don't know if I could handle going slow all the time, and so I was like, I don't know. And then I tried it once, and then it just took off from there, and now it's like everything in life. So it's kind of fun.
Nice. It becomes a sickness, and you get addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And then the same thing, second part question, what things do you think could be done or need to be done that would be beneficial to the hobby and business?
I would like to. It'll never happen, but Facebook can be either the best thing or the worst thing for the hobby. I feel bad for new people coming into the hobby because you don't really know who to believe on there because there is a lot of bad information, and there's guys that'll tell you half the stuff on a rig needs to be replaced because it's a piece of crap and blah blah blah. But what everyone's not seeing is that the dude can't drive and just beats the hell out of his equipment, so you can't really. It's pretty tough. You have to kind of consider the source when you're talking to people for information. I wouldn't take anybody too seriously unless I saw they had some nice rigs and have been doing it a while and stuff. it's the dude that's, got 8 inches of lift on his deadbolt and 2.2s and stuff that you probably shouldn't be like asking that dude advice on what to do with your brand new RTR rig, what to replace first. So it's tough. It's hard to weed out the nonsense on social media, but at the same time there is a lot of good information there and helpful information, but I think a lot of people won't speak up because they don't want to deal with the drama and the people butting in and giving their 2 cents worth, and it just it turns into a big joke pretty much. So I'd like to see that kind of go away, and I don't know. I don't think it will unless moderators start cracking down on stuff and getting rid of some of the guys that are notorious for trolling and stuff like that. Because I do see a lot of people being rude to other guys that are brand new to the hobby. Telling them to check Google or figure it out yourself. We had to when we started this hobby. I mean, just you see a lot of just really BS. Answers and information be given to people, and it's too bad because I mean, you see some of the drama and the fights on there, and it's like people aren't going to want to do the hobby. They're going to be like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? These guys are all a bunch of jerks. So I think the biggest thing is like if you could get everybody to take it upon themselves to be an ambassador for the hobby, then I think it would be that would be good. That was like what I would like to see change the most, I guess. And a simple answer is just, be an ambassador and be cool to everybody, and that's it. That's what the hobby needs the most, I think, right now.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'll take my crack at it.
Yeah.
So I got into the industry basically because I kind of have more of a one-to-one background. I never came in through comping, never owned an RC car other than like, your little Radio Shack ones prior to owning my first SCX-10. And I really stumbled across it searching YouTube for actually one-to-one videos. I was looking up a solid axle swap Chevy, and it said solid axle Chevy axial, and I was like, I've never heard of a Chevy axial. What is this? And I watched the video, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And when I was I bought one.
Nice.
So that's how I got into it. And then, of course, it just went downhill from there. You start getting on forums, which was like the stepping stone before Facebook took over. And then you start going to local events, and it just snowballed from there. And then let's see, what things do I think could be done or need to be done? Honestly, I have to agree with both Jay and Elio. What they both said, from supporting the hobby, promoting the hobby, to being an ambassador of the hobby is all things that need to be done. Another big thing that I think needs to be done is, I think, as far as these companies are involved, I mean, I know we talk a lot of axial, but what they did, and this is not bashing on anything, but what they were able to do prior to the Horizon ownership was really a pioneering step towards like really turning the hobby from really being like a hobby / business model to being a hobby / lifestyle, where you actually lived what you were doing. It wasn't just to go out, and have bragging rights and this, that, and the other. You were actually going out, having quality family time. That's what I truly feel Axial Fest was invented for, to go out, have a good time, get outdoors, and just have fun and create memories. I'm hoping, that they can continue to do that through Horizon. I'm hoping there can be other companies that can come up with something. Clearly look what Proline is doing with Proline by the Fire. They're starting to gain traction, and it's crazy that this is the third year that they've been doing this, and this is really their first year that I think they're probably going to break. I think they'll break the 800 attendance mark easily.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be pretty crazy. And those are two. So that's basically what I think needs to happen for this hobby to grow. And like to touch back on like what Jay said, just to be positive, give people helpful information, not everything, and that's the one reason why we all get along. Myself, Elio, and Jay is we're all kind of the same when it comes to we're not going to tell you anything to do that we wouldn't do ourselves. Like we're not going to tell you spend all this money on these parts if we're not going to go spend that money on the parts. If we can do it for cheap or free, we'll do it that route too, just to show that hey, it is doable without having to get without having to get out the checkbook and spending big amounts of money just to have fun.
Yeah, just replace it as it breaks, and just
that's it.
It's the easiest way to do it and the cheapest. And I mean, I don't know. I've never been one to just buy stuff that you don't really need, and there's no way I'm going to tell somebody to do the same. So
well, it was a prime example. I mean, I rarely go through all the pages. I mean, every once in a while I'll hop on Facebook and I'll check my notifications, and it'll say, oh, so and so posted in this, and then I'll just happen to read over to see if there was anything worth reading, and it was pretty funny. Somebody posted, they just picked up a Wraith, and they've done the normal stuff. They threw a couple colored, aluminum hop-up parts on it, but they were like, I really want to take this thing to the next level. What are some like definite mods that need to be done? And one person responded with, you need to buy a lowering kit. And I said, which in my opinion, yeah, you get that thing lower, it does crawl better, but you don't necessarily need to buy a kit to do that. There's a free hack for that. You flip the link mounts upside down, and it actually will lower the rig about like 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3/16 of an inch, which is a decent amount for not having to spend any money. So it's like, that kind of stuff right there. I'm not saying the person that responded was wrong. I'm just saying there's multiple helpful answers out there. So just be helpful when you're giving out these answers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have one other really good question that I thought was would be definitely one to answer this week, which is, what is the best crawler to get for someone who has never owned a crawler before but is experienced? This doesn't make sense, but is experienced or not even experienced with RC.
So are they saying
I guess
both?
So I guess what they're saying is, what is the best crawler to get? Maybe you've never been into crawling, but you're familiar with RC cars, but you don't know what would be the best crawler to get, is I'm assuming what they're asking. And this was Jeremy Kim.
Ah, okay. He's a local here. I know him.
So, I guess we'll let our guest start it off again.
No, you guys go. You guys go first.
All right, well, Jay, since he's a local to you, we'll let you go first.
Okay, so first of all, I know Jeremy through racing, and he's fairly new to racing, is absolutely loving it, having a ball. There's a RC park here that you guys may have seen me like post about it, but it's called Die Hard RC, and it's got like an outdoor turf racing track and a drone racing course and a airfield and everything. Like, it's like all inclusive RC experience is kind of what they're doing. And Jeremy doesn't own a crawler yet, but he has been out almost every day, I guess, last week, working on the crawler course there, so that he's got a course ready, so that when he does get his scaler, he's ready to go. So I thought that was really cool. So he's showing a lot of like enthusiasm and some initiative trying to get this course set up. And I saw it on when was it? Maybe it was Saturday or Sunday, I forget now. It must have been Saturday, but no, it looked awesome. I mean, he was doing a really good job. So what I've been telling people, and we'll see what you guys say, but what I tell people for a crawler, like the best one to start with, is the CRC 2017 JK.
And elaborate a little bit more why you say the 2017 JK.
Honestly, for one, it looks rad. I mean, but I like Jeeps, so for me, the Jeep thing doesn't matter. I think the combination with the metal links, the metal trans gears. It comes with lights. It's got a lot of scale detail, like the door handles and stuff. I think for the money, for whatever they are, like 409 or whatever the retail price is on it, I think it's probably one of the best working rigs you can get. The stock tires are pretty darn good. They're a little hard, but not bad. Um, and in stock form, it does really well, and they're really tough. So I mean, I've got a buddy that just bought one for himself and his girlfriend. He liked it so much he got her one too. So that's
Nice.
always kind of my pick. I mean, any of them are any more are pretty good. Like the HPI Venture's another good one, but it doesn't have the aftermarket support the Axial does, and the steering's kind of weak and stuff. So I think somebody that's new might be a little disappointed with the HPI because they're gonna have to buy some stuff right away versus the Axial where you can just pretty much mob it right out of the box, and the only like crapshoot about it's a servo. I mean, it may last a month, it may last a year, you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I've always been one to say, in pretty much any of the main brands, you really can't go wrong because if you've heard of the brand, it's big enough that you've seen it in a hobby shop, and then there should be aftermarket support. But I'm pretty biased when I answer this because I'm going to say basically any of the SCX-10 2 platform rigs.
Yeah.
Basically because right out of the box, they just perform well. They're pretty durable. I mean, obviously, like anything, a lot of the parts are plastic. They can break, but yeah, that would be my answer. Just mainly for durability, ease of use, and the price point. So, and the aftermarket support.
Yeah.
So, Elio, what would your answer be?
Yeah, I think I'd probably go with an RTR. I mean, that's what got me started in on the running RTRs was up at Sierra Trek.
Yeah, but what?
I like the Jeep, the Cherokee, because I'm a Jeep guy.
Okay, we'll go. I'm gonna have to hand feed him Axial. We're talking Axial.
Axial, yes, Axial RTR. Yeah. So that's what got me into the RTRs as I was up at Sierra Trek because I had some pretty built rigs. I forget which rig I was running. I was running one of my built ones, over under gears, and Jason was up there and he had an Axial RTR Cherokee, and I said, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And he hands me the remote and he goes, "Dude, go take it out." And I'm like, "You sure?" And I didn't know what to expect. I've had SCX-10s, Gen 1s out of the box and all that, and so I threw a battery in it, and dude, I was pulling lines that I'm like, oh my god, this is retarded. I said, how is this going up this? And I was laughing. I mean, I forget who I was with. I mean, he's like, what are you laughing at? I go, dude, this is crazy. Out of the box, this thing's doing some amazing stuff. But yeah, that's what got me hooked. I mean, the Axial RTRs, any of the RTR brands is, especially Axial. I mean, just they did their homework. The thing performs. I mean, I got 2+ years out of a stock RTR with stock electronics, stock servo, stock, even stock plastic steering arm, and I did nothing to it, just drive it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think that's what was actually pretty funny, which I'm not sure as far as our 2Chain followers if they remember this, but me and Elio actually ran the RTR Gray Cherokee in stock form for about a year before we actually really even did anything. I mean, we did like the minor, add a couple cosmetic things to it to make it a little more personable, but other than that, it was bone stock, everything. Until we decided, do you remember what you turned yours into?
Oh, let's see. I think I turned the one into the Bronco, the green Bronco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that thing's still running the stock links and everything on it. So that's over 2 years old.
That's nice. Awesome.
Yeah, and still the stock steering plastic arm and servo and motor, speed control. But last year I had to put I blew a tranny gear out, a stock plastic tranny gear, so I threw a stock plastic one back in it.
Yeah, that's usually one of the common failures with the RTRs.
But still, 2 years. 2 years of running that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my. I don't know. I'm just an Axial diehard. I mean, I bought my first one when they came out with the Scorpion, and really never turned back. I mean, the support is the biggest thing. Support, support, support.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying with the other question we had, saying what would be, companies need to do going on is basically just make sure that the support's still there. Like, interact with companies, so that way you can keep it growing. Because if it starts dying out, then the aftermarket support's going to die out with it, and then it's going to become a thing of the past.
Yeah.
So,
I think like with Associated, what they're doing, I think if it were me, I would do what like Axial's done in the past and whatnot, and kind of had their social media like hype team and get that new rig out to a couple different businesses to get developing parts, but kind of also to customize it and help promote the thing, so that everybody can see different ones right away when it's released versus just, box art until enough people buy them to start posting what they've been doing to them.
Well, have you ever driven that HPI rig, Jay?
Yeah, man, that thing is bitchin'.
It looks total scale. I mean, the body on there looks pretty cool.
Is
it the Land Cruiser, right?
Yeah, FJ Cruiser. That thing was absolutely awesome. That was used by probably more of my buddies than I even was able to use it. So it was kind of funny. Every time we go out, somebody'd be like, "Hey man, is it cool if I drive the Venture for a while?" Like it was kind of everybody's little favorite because it's such a well balanced rig, and like the front and rear weight bias is really good. But the downfall to having somebody buy one of those is they have to buy some stuff right away, whereas you don't with the Axial, and so that's kind of why it didn't exactly get my vote. I mean, the stock radio is comfortable, the stock ESC is fantastic, the stock servo is garbage, so immediately you have to buy a servo. But the nice thing is, and I think Hobbywing is the company that makes that's who OEMs the ESC to HPI, and that thing has a strong enough BEC that I was able to put I put a Tekin servo in it, and then also a ProTech the 570 TBL, and
nice.
I tried both those servos and it never browned out on it. Like it didn't.
Good.
The stock ESC was so good you didn't need an external BEC. So I mean, there's kind of, you have to weigh your options and stuff, but the SCX has the turning radius and everything right away. You got to buy universals if you want the Venture to turn well. But I mean, once you get universals and a good servo on that Venture, that is a very capable rig. But
yeah, I've never seen one up close.
It's pretty smart, man. Like it's laid out very, very cool, and we're working on some stuff for it right now to make it even better. That's actually my comp rig this year, so.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I made a truggy bed for it, and it's got a Toyota SR5 body on it now, so it's not very recognizable as a Venture now, which is also kind of cool.
Nice.
To circle back to the Team Associated thing, that's going to be something I was going to say. I know me and Jay have talked about this behind the scenes earlier today, but Elio, have you seen all the stuff with Element RC popping up?
Yes, it's popped up twice in my thing. So, what is it? Something? I guess there's something they're releasing.
So, from my understanding, because of Birdie, and I don't know if I can release his name, but Birdie got.
Birdie told me something. But
Birdie told me earlier that it is basically a adventure series through Team Associated. So it's going to be like an offshoot of Team Associated. So Team Associated will be the parent of it, but it's going to be an offshoot. And to expect some information if you're attending Proline by the Fire. They have some information that will be revealed at Proline by the Fire.
Nice.
So, yeah, like Jay said, it'd be nice to see them kind of follow suit with, or not just even them, but like anybody. If like Red Cat, or even if like, Traxxas attempted to do it, or HPI, if you come out with a new rig, and you can get it out to the masses, or not to the masses, but to a handful of people that can actually use it, and you can see it in quote unquote the wild prior to buying it.
Yeah.
I think that'll hype it up more to be something to be purchased versus everything being in a box or just showing still shots from the company. And then once it's out, you got to wait till everybody else can afford to buy it.
Exactly.
And then try it. You know,
you can get independent people to try it out and give their opinion on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
Post some cool pictures and post it being customized already, and you
Yeah.
you could have one dude that does something to that rig that'll end up selling 20 of those rigs for Associated because what that guy did looked so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of I don't know. I would like to see him do it. Cough, cough, Brad Geck. If you're listening, get some of those rigs out. And
so they're going to do at Proline by the Fire. They're going to release something, huh?
That's what a birdie told me.
Nice. All right, I can't wait. I can't see. I don't know. It's kind of be kind of fun to see something different come out. You know.
Well, that's kind of like what we said when Red Cat made the big jump with the Gen 8.
Mm-hmm.
So they came out with the Gen 8, and it was a big hype because it was new, it was different. And actually, you have one of those, so you'd actually be able to tell us how that thing works.
That works good. I mean, I like the way it works. Like Jay said, like the steering needs some improvement, but I mean, it needs to be geared down a little bit. But still, for a base price, somebody coming in, I mean, you know, the price point's really low.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, you can get a whole family in, you know, get one for the mom, dad, the kid, and everybody gets to go out, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, they're priced right. And plus, that pack, or whatever they call it, the assembled, basically like an assembled slider, that is a super good deal. I mean, so I don't know, that's definitely something to look at too. May have to pick one of those up at some point and just see what they're all about.
Which, in my opinion, I think that whole trend, like when Axial came out with the Builders series, the Raw Builders series, I think is pretty cool because it's always funny. You get a couple guys that are like super diehard. They want to run the stock body, and they just put a couple stickers on it and they call it their own. Then you get these other people who purchase the rig. They don't even do one run with the stock body on it, and you see the body up for sale in the marketplace. Or back in the day, we used to see it for sale right away on RC Crawler, and they just put on whatever. So, you know, that was actually, like I said, back in what I call the heyday, back in the OG SCX10 days, we used to basically have to build your rig. So even if you bought one, you had to change the battery location, you were changing the steering, you were, you know, all this stuff. Like, so basically you build one almost from scratch from an RTR. So to see the option of just buying something where you can mix and match the parts that you're going to upgrade anyways, I think in the long run saves that person money if that's the route they're going.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I remember the heydays. Yep, back in the day, you had to build your own stuff.
Yep. So, let's see. I know another thing we could talk about, and that's mainly because we actually have the person who helped put it in gear. So Snowmod RC released a new part this week called the Snow Caps, and Elio had his hand in that.
Yeah. Yes,
so,
that was super. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, so do you want to tell us what it is?
Yeah, so what it is it's a so when you build a rig and you run like I'm running VP wheels and I run a deep offset hub. Well, the wheel nut is way down inside there, and I like to run hubs or something. I don't like to see the big holes, so I couldn't really get a hub in there. So I talked to Brandon and I said, hey, can you develop something like a hub that'll press in, that it won't fall out, and you can take it out, take the wheel nut off, you know? So he did his wonder and printed it out of his top secret stuff and came up with hubs that press in. So, I mean, it makes a huge difference on the wheel from a hole to actually a scale looking worn hub that just presses in. I mean, super cool. I mean, I've been thinking about this forever, because nobody really has anything out there. Everybody has. You got to buy the special tool. You have to screw them on. Then you got to Loctite them because if they fall off, that's like $22 to buy some other ones.
And they will fall off too. I had them
Huh?
on. They will fall off too. It's not.
Oh yeah, I
not
had a
if
red
it's
Loctite
for-
mine on.
Yeah, it's a bummer about scale hubs that way. You know what?
Yeah.
I talked to Brandon on and off all day today on Messenger just about different stuff, and he didn't once mention a new product. Mr.
I think
Mr.
he's already had some people acquire, but he said he's gonna bring a couple down to ProLine by the Fire. But I think they'd be a good seller, especially the guys, like I said, that run the deep offset that don't want, just to look at a hole. They want to add the little scale touch. Just pop these things in there.
Well, what I would like to see that would be kind of nice is even if you weren't doing such a deep offset, if they would work. Because actually, I was staring at my Blazer build today, and I was like, well, it's not really a deep offset. The wheel itself is a more deep dish wheel, but it's not really a deep offset. But I can't fit anything else on there unless I guess I got, some normal, hubs that like the scale hubs. So I was almost going to hit him up and say, hey, do you think these would work in this?
No, they will. We set it at a certain, I think we did like an inch or 3/4 of an inch, and you can trim it. And it's rubbery, so it will just press in like the Junkyard Dog. I run in 5mm. I don't know if you go back in the day, Jay, but I'm running Super Dave 300 CVDs in there. You remember Super Dave?
No, that's all before my time.
Oh, dude, 5mm shafts. I mean, in the front it's all
my God.
concrete. Yeah, and they're like indestructible. So I wanted to put a set on there, so I got a set and I trimmed them all the way down and augered it out because it is rubber. Dude, they fit, and it's shallow, and they fit tight in there. So they'll work on any rim.
That's killer.
Yeah. I'll have to check them out then because that's definitely one rig I would like to clean up that look because it's like you got this nice wheel, super scale build, and then you're staring at the wheel nut.
You're staring at a hole. You're like, oh, God, it just needs that touch.
Well, I'm not staring. It's not so much I'm staring at a hole. I'm staring at a wheel nut. Like, I can see the wheel nut. That's why I'm like...
Yeah, man, I don't know. That, to me, I don't know, just this... It would just add that little, like, oh, this is super simple, and look at it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm tired of buying SSD ones.
And then on the rears he's got blanks. They're round with the flat surface. So what I did is I took my wife's got a sewing kit, so I took some pins, I cut them, and I did 8 perfectly good circle, like 8 bolts.
Nice.
Dug them in there, so like it's a full floater.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Cheap and easy.
Yeah, no kidding. That's great.
So with that, we have the Element RC. I mean, man, this week is just going to be. I mean, there's so much to talk about. It's just unbelievable.
There's another Axial release too.
There's that too.
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Which I don't know. We did this last time. Let's take some guesses. Do we have any guesses on what this new rig is going to be?
Not me.
Let's start with you, Jay.
I've got nothing for you. I looked and looked and looked, and I mean, it looks like a tall vehicle. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a RTR Unimog. I'd kind of hate to see that right after just getting the kit, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I absolutely can't tell though. It's not like before where they gave us some decent clues.
Yeah, is it going to be a new rig, like all new, or is it just going to be like Jay said, an RTR?
Well, if you want my honest opinion, and it came from somebody who might have spoiled it already. I don't know where I saw it online, but it might be a miniaturized vehicle of one that already exists.
Is it the Mini?
It might be the Mini because somebody said that. Because if you look at the first picture, it actually looks really small and close to the ground. So I was like, ooh, maybe they're
me and you talked about this. We knew this. We knew this 2 years ago.
Yeah, but like I said, it may not be that. And that's why I don't want to totally give it away. But
no.
There's speculation that it could be that. my other speculation is the original picture that I saw. It actually looked kind of low to the ground. So at first I thought, well, maybe it's a re-release of the EXO, because now that they re-released the Honcho, the Deadbolt, all the rigs, like the iconic rigs that made Axial what they were or what they are, and now you could have the EXO, add that to the fleet, because a lot of people were asking to bring that back. So, but then once I saw the picture that I saw, I think it was today. Now that they say that, it actually looks like a smaller picture. Like it looks like a normal sized vehicle if you shrunk it down. So I'm like, is this a small rig? I mean, I don't know. It's hard. Last time I totally guessed and I was wrong altogether, and Jay was right. But anyways,
it was pure luck before because I got nothing now. So
yeah, me either. I don't know. I have no idea. No clue.
Well, we'll have to wait because I heard rumors have it that I think tomorrow.
Yes, I was watching their live feed and they said they're going to release something tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So, I figured they were doing it Friday like everybody else.
No, see, which is actually crazy because if you think about it, everybody's actually getting a lot of cool, I guess, news and releases this week because we got Axial releasing something tomorrow. We got Team Associated is releasing something at Proline by the Fire. I don't know if Proline's releasing anything at Proline by the Fire because it's like kind of their event. And you notice how we haven't really seen anything from them that recent.
Right.
So who knows if they're going to have a new body or wheels or whatever. So I'm actually
they've been releasing a lot of drag stuff.
Yeah, I saw they're finally on board with that. I was wondering when they would because J Concepts has been killing that market.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see. Fun and exciting times in Scale RC. Woohoo! So
even more choices for rigs. Everybody should love that.
Oh yeah. So, I don't know. I'm actually starting to run out of things to talk about now.
That's all I got. I'm actually charging batteries right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought I heard the charger in the background go off a couple times.
Oh yeah. Yep. I'm getting ready.
So, yeah. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, me too. It's been a long day at work.
Which is funny because, I talk to some people about this all the time, and like, even Michelle, she'll ask me, how do you guys know what to talk about for like an hour, hour and a half, and how do you guys choose what to talk about for an hour, hour and a half? And I said, well, to tell you the truth, the way me and Jay have been doing it, we kind of just shoot from the hip. It's kind of like, we don't even really have anything to say. We just kind of like start talking, and then if it leads into a conversation, then we just keep going with it until we have nothing else to say. Whereas like our first episode was very structured, and we were trying to stay on like a structured timeline, and it just felt stale and stagnant and just forced.
Yeah, it was not a comfortable situation at all. I mean, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Like, let's have segments. We'll have news. We'll have this. We'll have this. But honestly, like the casual conversation, I kind of just enjoy more. I mean, there's stuff, that we want to like touch on, of course. But I mean, I don't know. I like not having any direction and just BSing and seeing where it takes us, and I like that with other podcasts, like I like that kind of just loose, like no real format to it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, because I know Brandon Catton said this to me earlier today too, is he said, it reminds me of a bunch of friends just sitting around a campfire just talking and having a good time. So, and I said, it's funny you say that because it kind of is. We're just sitting around talking and you just see where it goes. It's nothing,
That's actually pretty cool. Like that's actually kind of a cool compliment,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely been what I think is pretty cool too. And I know we'll put a link because I'm sure if you don't know who Elio is or you haven't seen his stuff, we'll put a link to his stuff on our page. I know we get a lot. We have had, not a lot, but we have had people ask us, "Hey, you talk about this brand, or you talk about that product, or you talk about this," and they would like to see some sort of a list or like like somewhere where they can go and view the stuff we're talking about. So I figure if there's anybody out there who has seen Elio stuff, one of a kind builder, we'll have to put that on our page. And we hear more batteries going on.
More batteries going off.
That sounds like a Duratrax Onyx charger.
Nope, it's a high tech
Ah, okay.
multi-charger.
That is a very familiar sounding beep.
Yeah, we're running the same. We're running the same one. That's one of the best. Honestly, that is one of the best purchases in this hobby that I ever did. Was get a multiple charger, because I remember first getting into this. I remember back in the day when me and Monty used to drive up to all the events. We used to, the night before, I'd start like at dinner time. All right, plug in a battery, charge it. All right, that one's done. Put a post-it note on it. Take the next one, plug it in. Okay, it's done. Put a post-it note on it. And we'd have to go through like 4 batteries just to make sure that we had it. It would take forever. Now it's, all right, you got a multiple charger, plug 4 batteries in, start them all, walk away.
Oh, yeah.
Get done. You know, just makes life easier.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you're not sitting there watching batteries the whole time. But
my kid's got a dual ProTech, and that's a pretty cool one. But I still have just a single charger, but it's a iCharger, and those things can charge up to like 30 amps. They're pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
They're dangerous.
Yeah, so there's a bomb waiting to happen there.
Yeah.
So, cool.
What was I going to say? That actually kind of leads almost to a topic that we've never actually really talked about, is like proper safety when it comes to charging batteries.
Oh, I have no business talking about that.
No, me either. No, me either.
I'm so
I
bad.
don't follow any etiquette.
Really?
Nope.
Man.
I don't.
What kind of friends do I associate myself with?
I don't, dude. I just charge them up.
I balance charge them just because, like, every time, you know, just for longevity's sake. But man, like, I put them away charged, dead. They'll sit for a year, and honestly, I haven't had hardly any batteries go dead. I've got batteries here that are 4 years old that still balance perfectly, and I haven't really taken that great a care of them.
Well, me either, dude. I got all the ones that all those 6,000 milliamp 3 cells I got from CKRC when he was doing his batteries, dude. I haven't done. They'll sit for like a year charged.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done any maintenance, and I've never had a battery go out.
Well, okay, I guess if you're talking in that case, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't do that whole discharge and recharge and all that stuff.
Yeah, storage charge and all that.
No, I don't do all that. But what I'm saying is, as far as like safety is, I've always made sure that when I charge my batteries, that I have them either in sight, so if something happens, I can, you know, throw it outside or whatever. Or
I always charge it on my metal bench.
That's the other thing I was going to say. Put it on a proper surface. A lot of times what I'll do is, back in the day when we used to always hotel it, I'd always charge them in the bathroom on the countertops because they're usually like some sort of a stone, so they're not really flammable.
Right.
So that way, if something happens, it's, you know, not going to be too catastrophic. It might be really smoky. Set off the smoke detector.
Yeah.
But it wasn't gonna set the thing up in flames. So. And then the only other thing too is when I store all mine in an ammo can.
I started doing that and then transporting them in a lipo bag, just because I have this weird paranoia that I'm going to catch my car on fire one of these days. So
I don't even store. I go out for long trips. I put them in the ammo can, but I don't store them. I just put them on the shelf. You know what? If you think about it, the only time you're gonna have a battery bad is if you impact it on a roll and it's dented, or because all my rigs, mine and Adam's, are all encased. I mean, there's nothing to get to the battery.
Right.
When you run full scalers, I mean, like comp rigs, yes. Like my comp rig, the battery is right out in front on top of the axle, and that thing got hit so many times.
Soft packs always sketched me out. Like they just
Huh?
soft packs. I never had any experience with really up until I started doing scale stuff, and because everything for racing had to be hard case batteries, and
Yeah.
so the soft packs like that was just kind of a whole new sketchy thing for me. But I mean, like I'm so paranoid about it that I even have like the ammo can is like literally sitting right next to the door of the shop, so I can like pick it up and throw it outside. If
Launch that thing out.
Yeah, like it's. I've seen enough horror stories and had a few friends that have had some garage fires. One of them was pretty severe to where now like I really the only safety precautions I take is just storage, and that's it. You know, just keeping them somewhere safe. But
yeah, that's pretty much my thing too. Is just making sure it's like safe for storage. Because like I mean I've seen it, and the worst that I've ever seen is like sometimes I don't think some of the parents explain to the kids, especially when you're running lipo batteries. I mean, if you're running the nickel metal hydride, which I don't even know really that many people that run those anymore, but if you're running the lipos, which are basically the one like all the battery family we've been talking about, is they'll run the scaler, and sometimes you see them coming back up the trail, and the battery's like being drugged by the plug, and it's like hanging out the car. Do you not realize that
That's a bomb.
You're asking for trouble? And yeah, so it's pretty crazy.
we've seen guys doing laps with a battery hanging out the side of their short course and stuff on
Oh,
the track.
God.
And
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Well, I was gonna say some of the stuff, like some of the actual racing stuff, they want you to use a hard pack. They don't want you using soft pack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our local track, they don't allow soft packs. So it's just something I just never even messed with because of that.
Yeah, almost every single one of my batteries is a soft pack, except for I got one hard pack, and that's the one that I run in the slash for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah.
That thing goes super fast, and it's not always on its wheels. So if the battery's going to come out of there, I'd like it to be somewhat protected.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. You know, when I think about it, when we're talking about all this battery stuff, I'm like, man, we are terrible role models when it comes to how we're supposed. It's like, screw it, just run them. Like people are like, you know, hey, what's
broke?
the
Don't fix it.
Yeah, it's that's too funny.
Wow.
Oh. Especially
Yeah, no,
with the batteries.
It was just
We need a
was just
disclaimer: do not do what we do.
No.
yeah. Do not always do what we do. I mean, we have some good information, but some of the stuff we do is, you know, I guess viewer or what is it? Use self-discretion.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I don't know. Instead of always having to go, well, I don't know, what are we going to talk about? I wonder if we should just end it on that note.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Hour,
I think we had a good session.
hour and
Yeah.
8 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, it'll definitely be one of our shorter episodes, but
That's
a
okay.
lot of fun fact information. Yeah. So, is there anything else? Anybody else you'd like to say anything to Yulia before we end this?
No, just see everybody down at Proline by the Fire.
I would like
All
to
right.
point something out though, really quick.
Okay.
E, your voice, dude, coming through the computer speakers, you sound exactly like Charlie Sheen.
Really?
Yeah, dude, you sound just like Charlie Sheen on here. It's so funny.
Man.
You're his vocal stunt double.
Yeah.
All right, my alter ego.
Dude, right there, you sounded just like him again. So funny. I wonder if anybody else is gonna pick up on that now.
We have Charlie Sheen in today.
Dude, it could totally pass for it.
Wow.
Well, I don't have anything of any substance left, so what little I actually had to say, I already said. So I'm good.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see you at some events, Jay.
Man, I hope so. It's once I get this physical therapy started and can figure out a way to manage this arthritis a little bit better. That'll be nice. But I wanted to go to by the fire. James Knight said I could stay with him and stuff down there, but man, I couldn't have survived the plane ride. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll try and maybe hit up Crawl for a Cure just because Mark's event and stuff, and I really like Mark, so it'd be kind of fun to go down there and hang out with you guys and support his thing and stuff too. So
yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely fun. What I really enjoy about Crawl for a Cure, especially with this new location. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed, and I still do enjoy crawling at drawing a blank, Rollins Lake. Is at the new one at Bear Mountain, if I'm not mistaken.
Bear Valley, or is it Bear Valley?
I thought it was Bear Mountain Valley
or
Resort.
maybe. Yeah,
something like that. Or Bear Mountain Lake Resort or something like that. Anyways, they actually are able to set up multiple areas now. So there's they're kind of following suit with like what Axial Fest did.
Oh, cool.
There's multiple, like there's not all the days of the bottleneck. I mean, I got so many stories with Elio when we used to go to some of the events for like the GSRCC back in the day. We used to get there. You'd have the diehards that are like, I'm going to get out there. They're like the first ones on the course. We used to sit back at the truck for almost 45 minutes before we'd hit the trail because we wait for all the bottlenecks to get through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we'd be like, all right, let's hit it. So now it's kind of a way they've, gotten out of bottleneck situations. So thought that was always pretty cool when people are coming up with ingenious ways of making things better. The only thing, which I still don't know how, I mean, everybody's tried to crack the code, but the raffles, those are the hard ones. Because, just like Axial Fest, you're there for 2+ hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no easy way to do it though.
And that's the thing though. Unfortunately, I don't really think there is an easy way because I know Mark tried it with the one ticket thing. Like last year, I think he spent $20. You got 25 tickets, but instead of giving you 25 tickets with all these different numbers on them and you had to count through them, they took one ticket and they had that ticket in there 25 times. So all you got to do is hold the one ticket. If your ticket gets called, that's it. Super simple. You're not having to scroll. But there's still, you get the people who don't pay attention or they're doing whatever, and then they come all the way full circle back around and they go to double check to make sure that nobody has this one. And they go, it's the guy sitting right in front. And you're like, were you asleep? So, but anywho, yeah, we'd love to see you at some events. So
That'd be fun. We'll try.
Yeah. With that being said, I guess we'll end it and we'll say thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming on, man.
Having our very first special guest on the show.
Woo-hoo! Charlie Sheen in the house.
So definitely look forward to, we'll have some more special guests on the show in the future. And until next time, guys, have fun, stay safe out on the trails, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Later, guys.